There have been times that I've wept as I've gone from city to city, and I've seen how far people have wandered from God. As I got older, I guess I became more mellow and more forgiving and more loving. We're all sinners. Everybody you meet all over the world is a sinner. God is more interested in your future and your relationships than you are. When Christians say God has been talking to them about something, it simply means they have a strong inner conviction or feeling that God has made His will known to them. Each life is made up of mistakes and learning, waiting and growing, practicing patience and being persistent. God has given us two hands, one to receive with and the other to give with. I can't prove it scientifically that there's a God, but I believe. Christians should never fail to sense the operation of an angelic glory. It forever eclipses the world of demonic powers, as the sun does a candle's light. The second coming of Christ will be so revolutionary that it will change every aspect of life on this planet. Disease will be eliminated, death will be abolished, war will be eradicated, nature will be transformed. Courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are often stiffened. Old is authentic, old is genuine, old is valuable. For those of you who do not know Him, choosing your eternal home is the most important decision you will ever make. I'm grateful for the opportunities God gave me to minister to people in high places. People in power have spiritual and personal needs like everyone else, and often they have no one to talk to. The word romance, according to the dictionary, means excitement, adventure, and something extremely real. Romance should last a lifetime. If a person gets his attitude toward money straight, it will help straighten out almost every other area in his life. I have never changed my message. I preach the Bible, and I preach it with authority. I'm grateful for the evangelical resurgence we've seen across the world in the last half-century or so. It truly has been God's doing. I can barely walk, but it's a privilege to be able to move at all. The men who followed him were unique in their generation. They turned the world upside down because their hearts had been turned right side up. The world has never been the same. When granted many years of life, growing old in age is natural, but growing old with grace is a choice. Growing older with grace is possible for all who will set their hearts and minds on the giver of grace, the Lord Jesus Christ. There is nothing wrong with men possessing riches. The wrong comes when riches possess men. Those outside the church expect followers of Christ to live differently. Yet today many in church are chasing after the world, not to win them, but to be like them. Make sure of your commitment to Jesus Christ and seek to follow him every day. Don't be swayed by the false values and goals of this world, but put Christ and his will first in everything you do. God has given us two hands, one to receive with and the other to give with. We are not cisterns made for hoarding. We are channels made for sharing. Suppose you could gain everything in the whole world and lost your soul. Was it worth it? Prayer is simply a two-way conversation between you and God. I've been praying that we might have a spiritual awakening, but I think that becomes possible as individuals surrender their lives fresh and anew to Christ. I have discovered that just because we grow weaker physically as we age, it doesn't mean that we must grow weaker spiritually. I'm going to heaven just like the thief on the cross who said in that last moment, "Lord, remember me."